Hey everybody, this is Carl's Opinion, and let's see, here we go. All right, hey, it's me. Get the volume back up. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, anyway, welcome to another fascinating edition, exciting edition of Carl's Opinion, where we discuss news and politics of the day. Today is the News and Politics Roundup. That's right, folks. It's the Roundup. It's late enough at night. It's 10 o'clock on the West Coast and 1 o'clock, 1:13 on the East Coast. So welcome to everybody joining in now and who'll be joining in later. So we got a lot of news to get to, and let's see. I see Mr. Lilo in there. Hey, how you doing? Yep, be smoking some cigarettes today for sure. And thanks, Lilo, for coming by. And heard you were, yep, 3, 2, 1, party time. Nice countdown. I like that. And hey, how's my sound over there? Does it sound pretty good there, Mr. Lilo? How's my sound in there? Do I sound good? Just make sure. Got a new mixer board, upgraded to a nice one, four mic mixer board, about 11 inputs, and got some new sound. Yay! All right, good job. Hey, I heard you were saying something to the effect that you were in you couldn't call in or something for like 3 months or something. I know you said they took down your avatar probably because it had the naked butt picture on it, but were you able to? Can you call in, or you're not allowed to call in? Do they recognize your voice or something, and they zap you off? I mean, what kind of world are we living in? What happens? I don't know. So, but yeah, I mean, you can call in here. There's the number up there, 273-8970. Again, that's 273-8970. And if you want to appear on a VMix live video call-in, just send me an email to ca2jogger at gmail.com. That's ca2jogger at gmail.com. And just let me know in the chat that you're coming in, and I'll check my email and I'll send you the link. And then you just it's real simple. You just type in your username and you hit join call. I mean, it's like really super simple. I mean, it's really really nice. And anyway, let's see, make sure I got all my sound up here. Make sure everybody can hear me good. Anyway, let's see, we've got a lot of news, so let's go ahead and get to it. And let's see what we got to talk about first tonight. All right. And there's an interesting story right there. So, Democrats offer funds, but not to build wall. House Democrats House Democrats reveal the outlines of their border security counteroffer Wednesday, saying they will pump money into stopping drugs and providing care for illegal immigrants, including cutting the number of detention beds to hold them for deportation. Hmm. Well, that makes no sense, including offering cutting the number. Well, that doesn't make sense. Democrats wouldn't put a dollar figure on their on their plan, of course not. But anyway, Democrats wouldn't put a dollar figure on the proposal, so it's not clear how it stacks up against President Trump's $5.7 billion plan for a border wall. All sides are locked in negotiations over a 2019 spending bill for the Homeland Security Department. They face a February 15th deadline to reach a deal and avert another partial government shutdown. 17 negotiators split between Democrats and Republicans in the House and Senate convened their first public meeting Wednesday. All sides said they hope they can reach a compromise through the path to a deal, although the path to a deal was unclear. Well, look, they're not going to get a deal done. Okay, there's no way. The Democrats can't give him the wall. They give him the wall. That's a big victory for him, and they don't want him touting that in 2020. And at the same point in time, you saw what Chuck Schumer did already when he had to reopen the government, he went, nah, 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 you had to back down, I mean, so Trump's like, well, Jesus Christ, I reopened the government, you could have just, kind of kept your mouth shut a little bit, but, okay, fine, that's how you're going to play it, then, okay, well, when we shut it down again, don't expect me to reopen it, and, I hope I hope his lawyers have really looked at that national emergency declaration really hard, and I hope they're thinking about doing that because that would be really, 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 really good. And so I hope they're considering that. I don't know if they are. I mean, I looked at it kind of facially. on the legal aspect, but it's not my case, so I didn't really go deep dive into it. I'm doing deep dive in my own cases, so I didn't do that. But there's got to be ways. Democrats, you got it. They sure are. But community guidelines for 90 days. So that means you can't call in. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, so if you call in, your voice appears on YouTube, and what do? Do they block your phone or something, or I mean, what happens? I don't get it. I mean, they blocked your ability to use a phone. I don't understand. I don't understand that. Doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how they could do that. Well, I guess they could recognize the voice or something. But I mean, what do they do then? They shut the video down or something? Or I don't get it. I mean, what do they do? Someone reported you. Well, who the hell would do that? What a dick. But anyway, so yeah, that makes. They were going to give him, they weren't. No, they weren't going to give him any money for the wall. But yeah, I mean, so I mean, like, if you call in, what happens? Like, the whole video gets shut down or something? Or this sounds really. I mean, it's like some kind of. I mean, everybody always jokes about George Orwell, but I mean, Jesus, this really does sound like George Orwell. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy. But yeah, well, there you go. But damn. But no, they're not gonna give any money for that wall. He's gonna have to like pull the trigger on a national emergency. Let it go. Hey, let it go through the courts. I mean, I think when he gets to the Supreme Court, the only person you're gonna watch out for is Roberts, because Roberts was appointed by George W. He probably deep down is a never Trumper. I mean, I'm sure he likes having other conservatives there, but he found a way somehow, some way to say the individual mandate was not a tax, or it was a tax, or was I can't remember what he did, and he can't do live shows, so you can't call in. I don't understand. Like if you're on the phone, I don't get that. So I mean, if you call, then what happens? I mean, if you actually call into my show, what happens? I mean, like the whole thing gets shut down or something, or I mean, is your voice like monitored or something? I mean, I don't get it. Yeah, I mean that doesn't make any sense, man. I mean that's just kind of retarded. I mean I don't know. I mean it's just well whatever, man. But some of the sites I go to, man, some of the language that's used just on on the panels. I mean, trust me, you say nothing even close to what goes on over there. So yeah, I mean they curse each other out and everything. I mean it gets pretty nasty. And you called. I've heard you call into my show and Axe's show. Like trust me, you don't say anything near what I'm used to hearing on other sites. So I mean that's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, sorry to hear that, man. That really kind of sucks. I always enjoy when you call in. That's always a lot of fun. So. But anyway, let's get to the rest of the news here, and let's take a look to see what else we got going on. And let's see, come down to here. Let's see, go back to the main site. And here, I'll talk about this lady for you. I'm sure you'll be happy to hear about this one. Let's see. Oh, you got to take this dopey thing down. I won't be able to. Boom. There we go. This story is rather interesting because she's running on criminal justice reform, and she just posted a tweet regarding that guy up in Chicago, that Josie Smoot or Jesse Smoot or whatever, the guy that claims two Trump supporters, wearing MAGA hats, jumped him or something like that. I think Axe had that one right. Axe covered that on a video, and I think he had that one right. I think he got beat up, and he probably had to explain to like the producers of the show, why he got beat up, why he couldn't film, and he had to come up with the most craziest story in the world that people would just want to believe, even if they said, well, it's kind of weird, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, out in Chicago on Water Street. It's up. There's a phone call right now. You're live on the air.
What's up, Carl?
Hey, man. Yeah. So, I mean, like, you can't call in, or what's the deal? I don't understand.
No, what happened is it was today. I know who it was too. But
Uh-huh.
anyway, I don't want to be cursing in your show. No, they just gave me the 90 days penalty, meaning like if I want to do a live show, I can't do it.
Oh,
So,
if you want to do your own live show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. I thought
Oh,
you.
I thought
Yeah,
you
that's
like you.
what I meant.
Oh, I thought you couldn't. Wait, you do live shows?
No, well, no, not really. I tried the other day. I did it twice. I mean, of course, it's nothing. It was pretty, nothing professional
Well,
like
no,
you.
no, no, no,
I
no,
would just,
no. It takes no. Hey, trust me. I mean, you should see my videos on YouTube. I mean, I have like a whole bunch of videos, and like probably half of them are private because I use, like when I test stuff out to see how it works. I mean, yeah, man. It's like I mean, trust me. It's don't feel like you're like, oh, I'm an idiot. No, man. This stuff takes a long time to master. I mean, literally about.
yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
yeah. Actually, I heard that sometimes it can take between 20 to 50 videos before before you can you become pretty decent or pretty good.
Oh,
Anyway,
I would agree with that. That's true. I would say yes, that's true.
yeah, but I was just fooling around. The thing is, I don't really want to take you out of the subject. It's just real quick. It was today. Axel put a video, and I went over there and I comment like I always do. And then if I see somebody who puts something that I like, sometimes I comment. I'm like, this guy, I don't know who it is. He's a new guy. I know his name. If I see him, but anyway, he put that that he was having a hard time. When he switched to vote for Trump, and I guess people they give him a hard time, his family or whatever. And so I put hey, good for you, stay strong, and then I put MAGA. The guy cursed me out, called me any names. I mean, this guy was really, I don't know. He probably was like a 10-year-old kid. I don't know. He was cursing me out, so I got pissed. I cursed him back.
What
You
mean in the chat room or something or what?
Yeah, and he went to my comment and he kept putting names saying that he was going to kill me and kill my family and all this crap, and I'm like,
oh, in the comment section.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess I put it back. I'm not the type that I like to do that, but I call him names too. So I guess I don't know, the little sissy boy got hurt, and he went to. Next thing you know, I go to my channel, and my 2 videos are gone, and then I got a YouTube something in YouTube saying that
a strike.
I was banned for 3 months.
You get a strike. You're banned for live streaming for 3 months. You can still post videos. You just can't live stream. You can still upload videos. You just can't live stream for 90 days. And
I know, but
same thing happened to ABL. That's why he did a second channel. He got permission from YouTube to use a second channel for live streaming. But yeah, so you can't. Well, this guy. Well, I don't understand it. So it wasn't the content on your videos.
Look, this guy. I don't know who the guy is. He's a new guy, a new subscriber for Axe. His name. He goes by what's his name? Cemetery. Wait, hold on. I got it right here. I even wrote it down just in case if I forget. Because if I see him, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what a dick. I mean, like especially if you're a sub on Axe's site, you don't go after and follow subs.
Hey, they even took the little picture, the profile, the little picture.
Yeah.
YouTube took that out because they said it wasn't appropriate. And he's the one who started with the thing. He said, you're well, I don't want to say the names that he called me, but whatever. He called me some stupid ass names. Oh, he goes by funeral home. I'm sorry, funeral home. That's what he goes by.
Yeah, I've never seen him on Axe's site. I've never seen him in the chat room. So maybe he must have just.
Yeah, he's new, but anyway, I know it was him because after that, after I started responding back to him, the CC boy, I guess his feeling got hurt. I started seeing everything that I put against him. It started disappearing. They started taking it out. I guess he reported everything I wrote. But so I got mad. So I went and I report him too. So hey, you know what? If he wants to be a dick, But anyway, whatever. I'm just a little pissed off. I can't believe people. There's so much idiots, man. And like I said, I didn't say anything bad, man. I was just actually saying, that good for him. To stay strong. I'm MAGA. And next thing you know, he's calling me gay and
Well, you know, he
You
must
know, he come.
he might be a troll on the site that came on because I mean, it doesn't sound like it wouldn't be like a fellow
No,
sub, you know.
no, I don't think so because the things that he put it was like, oh, Ash, I'm a new subscriber. Oh, you're good. I love you, Papa.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, no,
so
but a lot of people come. No, 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 no. Hold on. I used to moderate for a really tough site. Okay, I was like the chief moderator for this site, and I ended up 86 in like 700 people. I mean, it was a really tough site to be on. I was on it like 7 hours a day moderating, and like 14
oh
hours
well,
a day on the
all right.
weekends. No, no. So trust me, I know what a troll is. Okay, I know trolls very very well. So no, the most likely this guy
Eh,
would no most likely no, that's how they come on. They try to be like friendly. Hey, yeah, I'm one of you, right? No, no, trust me. Okay, Lilo, I'm telling you, man. A fellow sub who is following Axe and says, "Hey, my family won't talk to me," blah blah blah, and then another sub writes, "Hey, stay strong, man. You know, be good. You know, Mega. You know, make America great again."
right.
There's no way that person's going to start giving you a hard time. No, that's a troll. That's somebody who comes on the site. They try to hide out for a while. This guy obviously couldn't control his emotions because instead of hiding out for a while, he just decided to attack. But you know, yeah, he needs to go. So no, don't
I
worry. So his
I
name. Wait,
guess.
hold on. His name is Funeral Home,
Yeah,
and
yeah. That's
and that
what he
was on
goes by.
that was one of Axe's videos today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
I don't know.
That's a troll. That's a troll. That no, you don't.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. Nobody comes on and says,
Uh,
"Hey, I'm with you," and then some guy offers support. You know that has the same mindset, writing "Make America Great Again." And then he starts calling you names. That's a guy. They do that. They come on
well,
the sites.
if
They try to lay low for a while and hang out. But sometimes their emotions get the best of them, and they can't, and so they just they have no impulse control, and they just kind of lose it. And so this guy
hey
lost it on
Carl,
you.
but these people, I mean, serious, calling me so many names. I never saw somebody and calling me so many names. I'm like, I'm looking, I'm reading at the message. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? I swear, I'm like, what, you know? So, you know, I got pissed and I respond back. But let me ask you something, since you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
So, so is it that easy for, like, now I'm not saying you, like, let's say you, right? You know, you got your show going on.
Hmm.
So if for some reason I don't like you or I don't like something you say, I can go report you
Yeah.
and they'll take you out just like that?
Well, no, not necessarily. It all depends. I mean, they'll look at it for a few minutes, and I mean, they're supposed to look at it for a few minutes. But yeah, people get reported all the time, and they get flagged all the time. The one side I was on, they used to, he used to get reports all the time, and they try to flag him, and he constantly had to get new accounts, and he'd be up to
Yeah.
50,000, 70,000, and then he'd get cut back down. We start all over at 10, 5,000, and then work way back up. Just because
Oh
people would
man.
come on and flag him and report him and stuff. So I mean, it was just a big pain in the ass. So, but no,
Yeah.
and then if it's a conservative site, they'll look for any reason to zap him. Now, what I do on my site, I have like a whole bunch of like blocked words that like in the chat room, they really don't apply. The only that you can X the box for like potentially inappropriate, on here. Like you'll see, maybe sometimes I don't know if you've seen it on here. Like we'll say, a comment will come up and it'll say show or hide. Because
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that. I don't know what it
okay,
was,
yeah,
but I
what
just.
that is like you if you X the box for allow comments except for those that are potentially inappropriate, and YouTube has the algorithms in place where they with the Southern Poverty Law Center and the Anti Defamation League, they kind of put together like words that potentially are racist or anti-Semitic or just bad words like
Oh wow.
and so yeah, so a lot of times you'll see it says show or hide. They're asking for approval to either show it because it's potentially inappropriate. So they'll say, okay, do you want to show it? Do you want to hide it? And then
That's a,
and then in your comment section, you can put a bunch of blocked words, that keep people from writing nasty stuff in your comment section. And that's what I do.
uh,
I have a whole bunch of words that I developed when I was moderating on this other site
so
and then I ended up saving it right a long time ago, and then when I started this site I said I had it still saved, and I'm like, oh shit, so I just threw it onto my site, all the words I had come up with, and that keeps people from writing all that nasty shit in the comment section.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
hey, hey, like I said, I'm learning, man. I don't know anything about this
Well, no,
this stuff.
it's a shame. It's a shame they I thought they might flag you for the avatar because yeah they it used to be no big deal on the avatar, but they've been kind of going after the avatars a little bit too. And plus, I don't know who this asshole is, but
Yeah,
be telling
he
me.
probably some little kid, man. He sounds like the way he writes stuff. He
Yeah,
sounds like he's like a kid,
it could
like a
be.
little kid.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I guess he was expecting maybe somebody to not respond, and I did. I respond really bad to him too. I mean, hey, you want to be a dumbass? Hey, I'll be a dumbass too. So yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, who cares? But thanks anyway. I appreciate the information. It's always good to
yeah.
know.
You
But
know,
we what we talk about the wall.
yeah. Well, I was talking about the wall, but then I saw you were on. And I figured you're a big Kamala Harris fan, so I figured I'd put up a story about her. You
Oh
know.
yeah, go ahead, read it,
Yeah, so
please.
basically it's like here, let me expand this a little bit here. Hold on, let me get back to this real quick. Let me just expand it up so I can see it better. There we go. Anyway, he's talking about when Senator Kamala Harris seized the mantle of criminal justice reform in launching her 2020 Democratic presidential run, it bowled over Felicia Jones, a prominent civil rights advocate in San Francisco. And when it comes to criminal justice reform, hold on. Comes to criminal justice reform, the freshman senator was more, and this woman is writing that she's a civil rights activist in San Francisco, and she's talking about Kamala Harris suddenly wanting to get on board with criminal justice reform. And so she writes when she was DA and Attorney General, she says the senator was more part of the problem than part of the solution. Ms. Jones said first during Ms. Harris's stint as San Francisco's district attorney, then during her 2011 run as Attorney General. And she said, are you are you? I hear an echo in the back. Do you have your YouTube on?
No, everything is off.
Okay, all right. See,
I mean, yeah, everything is off.
okay, no,
Maybe where I am. Let me move around. But go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
listening.
So, okay, so she says, and then this lady writes about Kamala Harris. San Francisco has always incarcerated more black men than anywhere else in the state, and it didn't really change under her leadership. Now she wants to do criminal justice reform? Question mark. And she never did say anything about the police brutality. Hold on, let me get down here. Police brutality. Da, 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 da. Of African Americans and just the outright harassment and racial profiling of black and brown people here in San Francisco. Now those are huge issues. Ms. Harris' tough on crime record, which is rife with cases in which she aggressively defended misconduct by her teams of prosecutors to get convictions. Not good. That's bad, actually, for everybody. Could be one of the biggest hurdles in her quest to lead a Democratic Party that has moved far to the left on racial and criminal justice. And they talk about her being 54 years old, blah blah blah. So in other words, they're saying, when she was running the DA's office in San Francisco, she would cover for her prosecutors who were doing bad things. And as a defense attorney, I understand that. What that means is like they don't provide all the discovery to the defense attorney. They don't provide what's known as is called exculpatory evidence. In other words, like the police will come into evidence on a case, and it kind of would help the defendant. Like if they gave it to the defense, if the jury got to hear it. So a lot of times,
Right.
not a lot of times, but sometimes they'll bury it. So the police, they're like, hey, yeah,
They'll bury.
yeah. No, the cops
Yep.
will hand it off to the DA's office because they don't want to get in trouble. So they say, here, it's yours. And sometimes it's like something good that the defendant can use. It's known as exculpatory evidence. And so until sometimes the DA's, well, shit, we don't want to give that to the defense. They might win the case. You know, so
Got you.
so they
All right.
they they hide it. That's the biggest problem. And it sounds like, according to the story, that she was when she was DA, she was allowing her teams of trial prosecutors to do just that, to hide stuff, to get away with do some bad things, in order to run up her conviction total. So it doesn't sound like she's. I mean, between a lot of black men sites that are coming out against her for all kinds of reasons, the black conscious. Yeah, I mean, no, they're coming. Well, she's married to a white guy, it's an interracial thing, and it's like, trust me, that's like a big deal for them. I don't know why, but and so basically that's their big deal against her. Now they're just looking for other reasons to go against her. I mean, look, I hope she doesn't win. I mean, again, I'm a Trump supporter, conservative.
Yeah, of course. Me
But
too.
yeah, but I mean, if you want to go after somebody for their record, okay, go after them for their record. But Christ, she's married to a white guy. It's like, oh God, the end of the world. Like, oh geez, it's like you got to get over it. You got to get over that shit. I mean, it's like no other
uh,
ethnic no other ethnic group in this country discusses shit like that. I mean, they don't care.
but
But these
but
guys have a problem with it.
but but Carl, the thing that I don't understand, they say they want diversity, and so what's wrong with being married with a different color? I mean,
Well,
isn't
no,
it what they want, diversity?
some of these people don't want diversity. They want separation. They want segregation. It's kind of weird. It's like, last 50 years we're trying to achieve integration and, and diversity, like you're saying. And then these guys are like, no, man, we want to be separated. We don't want to deal with anybody else. We want our own place and leave us alone, and we'll leave you. Well, I don't know if they'll leave us alone. They'll probably keep coming back for money.
Uh,
It's like, oh, hey, we're over here, but it ain't working out so good. Can we borrow some money? It's like, no. It's like you can't borrow any money. Go get your own money. That's what I tell them. So,
brother.
but so they're kind of they're kind of going after her right now. And there's another story here that I thought was pretty interesting, also.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't feel sorry for any of them because they're very dirty and lying, and that. So when stuff like this happens, I'm like, what? How do you like it? So I don't care. Honest, I really don't care.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. And then of course Trump was bitch. I tell you, man, the swamp is out there, man, because like, Trump's own intelligence guys go up to the Hill and they were like contradicting everything Trump's been saying about Iran, and they're saying, oh, North Korea is a problem, and they're saying Iran's not a problem, even though they're spreading terrorism. And Trump's like, hey, the only reason why they're kind of laying low right now is because we've been putting the economic pressure on them. So they're not doing a lot of bad shit like in Syria or Yemen or anything. They're kind of holding back a little bit because they want these sanctions lifted. And it's they don't seem to get it. So
You,
anyway,
one thing that I'm happy, but I don't know, I don't understand it. How these Democrats got so much power. I mean, the FBI. It's like everybody's against Trump. Even Republicans, and I'm surprised they haven't actually done something really stupid or to take him out. I mean, I'm happy. You know what I mean, but
right.
I'm surprised because it seems like everybody's against him. Everybody. So. I hope the guy stays strong, man. I don't know how he does it, man. If it was me, man, I don't know, man. I think I've been spanking everybody, man. He got a lot of patience, man.
Oh no, he. I tell you, Phil. I mean, I've never seen anybody hit so hard. I've been following politics since I was a kid. I mean, going back to Nixon, going back to Gerald Ford, and then Carter, and then Reagan, Bush, and Clinton, and then Bush, and then Obama. But I've never seen somebody hit so hard before. In just 2 years, he's been hit more than any of those presidents I just mentioned for like their full terms. I mean the way they go after him, it's really crazy. It's really unfair too. I mean, it's just a terrible thing.
It's I get sick, man. I guess I get so frustrated. These guys. Look, I'm not saying he's perfect. Nobody's perfect, and I'm pretty sure he lies too. But you can tell the guy is doing good things for the country, for everybody, for the American people. And it hurts me, when I see so many people against this guy. I mean, this guy it's a billionaire. His life
Right.
was great. He didn't need this. He didn't need to take all this crap. I mean, everybody used to love him.
Oh yeah, no,
And
everybody,
now,
yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, I mean, yeah, everybody used to love him. They're all his friend. I mean, he had pictures with, let's see, Rosa Parks. He was getting an award the same night Rosa Parks was getting an award. He was out there with Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, everybody. And they're all like, oh, he's a great guy. All these rap singers, wanted pictures with him and would write songs with his name in it. And then he runs for president. It's like, oh, now he's a piece of shit. It's like, and he's doing so.
He's racist.
Yeah, he's racist.
He's racist.
And he's done so much, for the black community more than any other president has. He gave more money to the historically black colleges and universities than any other president. He's opened up the opportunity zones. I mean, he's not giving anybody handouts. He's giving people hand-ups. Like he's bringing private capital into the inner cities, by giving them tax breaks, by saying that if you stay for 10 years, you don't have to pay any capital gains. I mean, that's a win-win for everybody. Everybody wins on that deal. The prison reform thing he did, I mean, he's just, he's really going out of his way, and, he still gets called names, and he still has to deal with all this
Well,
shit.
hey, Carl, that's the part I don't understand. I mean, I know the Democrat, they're gonna lie. I understand that. They want to win, whatever. The part that I don't understand is the people that they cannot see it. And I'm not saying in the beginning because of course, hey, I didn't know either.
Right.
But after a while, I noticed. I'm like, whoa, why they pick at this guy so much? And and that's when I start doing different research. And so I don't understand how can the other people don't see it. It's like you can show them right in front of their face. Or you can show them videos or proofs or whatever,
Right.
and they hate this guy so much that they don't care anymore. They just don't care anymore. I just don't understand, man. Serious. I think they'd rather put the country, America, down. They'd rather destroy America than give the okay or to tell this guy, hey, you're doing a good job.
Oh no, I totally agree. They'd rather see, a lot of these people, like, they're upper middle class or they're just straight out rich, and if the economy goes into a recession again, they're not going to lose their home. They're not going to lose their job. They're not going to be worrying about how am I going to pay the bills. They're not worrying about how they send their kids to college. So they'd rather see the country go to shit. All of us suffer, and they don't.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the little people that, for some reason, their IQ is so low. I mean, I know they're not stupid, but it's like, come on, man. How can you agree with these people? That's the part I don't understand. Even my parents, that they don't know too much,
Mm-hmm.
even they see what's going on. I mean, they don't know everything, but they sometimes they're like, why are they doing this to him? And then, of course, if I know a little bit, I'll tell them,
Right.
But even they notice, and that's the part that I don't understand. It's like, how can you hate this guy so much, man? I mean, what is this guy? I mean, man, I don't know. It just gets to my nerves, man. I just hope, that nothing happens to him and he keeps doing the job that he's doing. And let me tell you, if they were allow him to do the job, America would have been much better than what it is, man. Because this guy is really doing it. This guy is
Oh
really
yeah,
working.
if he could just get a little bit of cooperation or just not get fought on every single little thing. I mean, we're doing really good right now, but we'd be doing a hell of a lot better. But they constantly
Yeah,
they're constantly beating him up. The mainstream media is constantly calling him all kinds of names. This whole Mueller thing is just keep pushing on him, pushing on him. And the whole point they're trying to do is just to kind of wear him out, so like he can't get anything done, so he can't be successful. But it's funny, even with all that bullshit, he's still getting a lot done. And hopefully loyal Trump people are going to stay loyal, because anybody who just kind of walks away from this guy because they hear some sob stories on the mainstream media about some federal workers who aren't getting a paycheck. I wish, I mean, those aren't real loyal people. I mean, but they need to be loyal, because I mean, what's the alternative? The alternative is what? One of the Democrats, being president, running the country into the ground. We went through that for 8 years.
oh my!
Yeah, I mean,
Listen,
this economy should have come back really fast after the recession in 2009. By 2011, 2012 at the latest, we should have been rebounding big time. Really good paying jobs, incomes going up, and inflation going up, the whole 10 yards. No, nothing. We were just stagnant, and that's why the Fed just held down the interest rates. But hey, you want to hear a piece of good news?
yeah, go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead. Tell me.
I was reading the Wall Street Journal, and it looks like the Fed is going to hold off on raising interest rates, because they've been raising it, over and over again. It looks like they're going to put a halt to it right now, and that's why.
Hold on, Carl. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it looks like the Fed is going to hold off is going to hold off, or maybe just stop for a while on raising interest rates. And the stock market supposedly boomed today because of that.
Well, that's a good thing. Finally, some good news.
Yeah, so that's a piece of good news, because I mean, they were capping like inflation, saying if inflation goes over 2%, they get scared. But let it go to 4, let it go to 5. It's not the end of the world, okay? So, and meanwhile the economy grows. And then inflation going up means people are buying more stuff. People are big firms, big stores, retail stores are buying more inventory, and demand is going up, and supply is having a hard time catching up because it takes a while for supply to catch up because you got to make it. So I mean, that's a sign of something good. I mean, people are out there
But
they have disposable income, they want to spend it. They have good jobs.
look, of course, I noticed too. I remember going sometimes to the supermarket or to the stores, and I know you got times of the year, it's more people than other. But I noticed that it doesn't matter at what time or what day I go, I see more people than before, and
Right,
to me that's a good thing. That means more money in their pockets,
right.
So I know that it's good. I know they're doing good, meaning the country. So when I hear these people saying, "Oh no, we're doing worse," no, what do you mean we're doing worse, man? I mean we're doing better. You see everybody more, wasting more money, But
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know. I don't know. They're probably watching CNN.
Well, yeah, CNN, MSNBC, they're both the same, pieces of garbage. It's a real shame, but they both suck. That's just the truth of it. So, but
One thing that, sorry, Carl,
no, go
that I
ahead.
noticed that in the beginning, CNN, the mainstream media, they used to lie, and I started noticing that. But now they really don't care. They'll really pretty much it's like they'll tell you, "Hey, we're lying." I'm
Yeah,
serious.
yeah.
It sounds. I just don't know how can you do that?
Well, no,
How can you
yeah,
actually?
yeah. Before they used to pretend like, oh, we're really fair, but and they'd always hit some real good zingers. But now they're not even pretending. They're just saying, yeah, we don't like this guy. He sucks. He's this. I mean, they just come out and say it, and then they say, okay, watch us. We're going to give you a fair analysis of what's going on in the world. Well, when it starts off with like this guy's a racist, this guy sucks, this guy's going to kill the country, I mean, then they say, oh, but watch us. We're going to give you a fair, balanced story. Well, no, they're not. I mean, how can they? You know?
Hey, uh, I don't know if you heard about the European Union. They called the president from Italy. The new president.
Yeah, the
He's
president,
like a
a populist.
I
Yeah,
don't know his name, but they say he's like the another Trump.
yeah,
And I like him by the way.
right,
Um, so anyway, the EU, it was arguing with him because he stopped the immigration, the refugees. He
right.
said
He
he didn't
stopped
want no
them
more.
coming from it through Italy. Yeah, he said, hey, tough shit. Go somewhere else. Don't come through our country.
Well, he actually then, well, it wasn't now, it was last year. It was a boat with, I don't know how many, a few hundred. And he said, nope, they're not coming in. So he sent them back, and they actually, Spain took them,
Right.
idiots. So now Spain is supposedly it's having a hard time. So I think they're trying to stop that too, the immigration. But anyway, they were calling the Italian guy because they're trying to, it's a few countries that they're trying to bring the EU down,
Mm-hmm.
um, especially the lady from Germany and the soy boy from France.
France. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But anyway, so they call him racist and all these names, and he said, "I don't care. Call me anything you want." And that's the way I look at it.
Well, no,
They
yeah,
they always
yeah.
bring the racist. Who
Well,
cares, man? Call me
you're
racist.
not a racist if you don't want a bunch of third world people like tramping through your country, and some stay, some move through, but that Italy can't handle that kind of a population, load, and it's ridiculous, and they're coming from like, I mean, they're coming from a part of Africa, the Central Africa, like Ghana and south of that. I mean, it's really a shitty place. I mean, it's just terrible down there, and it's all corruption. It's just there's no industry. If you don't work for the government in some form or fashion, you really don't have a job. A lot of people are subsistence farmers, basically, live, hand to mouth. You got people. I was watching a cooking show, and they show these people like there's like 50 people on the beach, and like these like 10, well, like then like another 10 people go out on a boat, and they go on a boat, they cast their nets, and they got 50 people on the beach, and they all pulling on the rope to pull the boat back in. I mean, it's like they're like in the 16th century or something. It's like, really, that's your technology? So they're pulling the boat back in,
Well,
and then what it is, whatever they catch in that net, I mean, anything, it doesn't matter what the hell it is, they all share amongst themselves. And some days they eat good, some days they don't eat so good. and that's their food.
I got.
Yeah, I mean they don't have any money to go to the grocery store, so they have to sit on the beach all day and pull these fishing boats in with a big rope and then just eat whatever comes in. And their gourmet dishes are pretty much anything we got in the kitchen. We just stick into a big pot, throw some sauce into it, and call it a meal. And then maybe throw some kind of junky looking kind of rice on top of it, and like, ooh, that's supposed to be gourmet food. It's like, man, it's like shit. And
Yeah.
so they're all coming from there, because their countries are crap, and then they want to go up to like Italy and France and Spain, and and they're not used to dealing with a European type of civilization with laws and rules and their customs, and it just turns into a freaking disaster.
No,
You
but
know.
that especially too many people at once, and the same thing now
Well,
is happening over here,
yeah, no. The point
So,
the point is you need to have you need to set a number, right, and say, okay, here's a number that we can assimilate, that we have jobs for, that we can handle, that we assume a few are going to have to be on, within the social safety net, maybe somebody, but we don't need to bring in like grandfathers and stuff. I mean,
exactly.
like, and that's what the chain migration does. Somebody gets over here, next thing they bring their grandfather and everything, and why are we bringing some 70-year-old guy to live in this country? What's he going to contribute? I'll tell you what, nothing. I
Yes,
mean,
no,
I mean,
eh, eh,
we have a lot of old people in the country already. We don't need to bring in some other old person who's going to come in here and then I guess what, just start collecting money somehow.
well, you know what? When I saw the what was going on in Europe, I'm like, man, how can they let this happen? And then I'm thinking, well, at least America is still holding on. But you know what? No, it's happening over here too. I'm starting to see it. The same thing that's happening in Europe is happening here. They're coming. They're not assimilating. They don't respect the laws. And now I'm pissed off with the president of Mexico because I thought he was pretty cool. I actually thought this guy was going to be, a good one.
Right.
But he signed it. He signed the UN, for the immigration too, so he can have people there too. But honest, I think he did it, to for them to come and be in Mexico, but from Mexico to come here. I swear that's what I'm thinking, that he did it on purpose.
Right.
I bet you that, this is all about money and power. And who knows if they give him money? I don't have no idea. But he's letting all these people in. They have the other caravan coming. Supposedly he gave him, I think they call it, what is it?
Like a visa?
Something. Yeah, but it's called the I can't pronounce it.
Humanitarian?
Humanitarian visa, something like that. It's like the name
great.
that they
Yeah,
use.
humanitarian visa, a visa long enough to get through his country to get to ours. And then they used to give like these 14-day visas out. And it was a joke because it was designed for one thing. It was to give them 14 days, just hey, go through our country, and then hop the wall, jump the fence, whatever, crawl under it, walk around it, and then. But if you're still here after like 14 days or 20 days, then we're going to deport your ass. So there's nothing
Oh,
humanitarian about it. It just says they're not saying, oh, we want you here. They're saying, okay, we're just going to give you a free pass to get through our country as quick as you can because we don't want you here and then get to the Estados Unidos, and then
oh.
go va el norte, that kind of shit, and then
Go,
yeah
so I like it. I like it.
yeah
But listen, what I hear is that they were going to give him like a year. Whoever
oh
wanted to
jeez
stay in Mexico, and they were going to give, and it was supposed to be right in the beginning of the border from Mexico and whatever other country is next to. What is it? I don't know. Whatever it's next to. I don't know if it's. I don't know. Whatever. One of those
like
places.
Guatemala or something, Honduras.
Yeah, whatever is the right next to it. So they were supposed to stay right in the front. It was two cities, and they were going to stay there and give them those visas and work for a year. And then after a year, well, I don't know. But what is going on, supposedly, those things is BS. It was just for them to come inside and keep going.
Right.
It was kind of like, a pass, a free pass.
Right.
So now they're coming here, and you know why? Because everything is free. Actually, they get more stuff than the American people here.
Oh
And
yeah, you can. I mean, 'cause, yeah, the American. A lot of us. We work for a living. We're not. Applying for this stuff. and and they can apply for everything, and they get all, and there's all kinds of groups that give them money and stuff, and we got to hold their hand and escort them to certain places and locations, and that one lady was videotaping that one place where they were dumping them all off. There's one church, and there's one area and stuff, and they're being transported by Homeland Security. Well, shit, the church wants them. The church can pay for the transportation. And meanwhile, and there's no, like, it's not like they can't leave. It's not like they got them in prison up there. So people leave. It's like, well, I guess they left. Well, of course they're going to leave. They're going to get out of there and they're going to go into the community and hide. You'll never see them again. I mean, it's just amazing. Like, it's like we're suicidal or something.
Look, I already told my parents, don't give me any money to the churches because, serious, man. I mean, especially around California and Texas and Arizona. For what I hear, those three places is like the worst ones. And they have this. This is what see. This is the part I get a little frustrated because remember when we had the last caravana, right? There was a few thousand people.
Yeah.
And they said that they were going to stay there until they check them out. It could take 6 months, whatever.
Right.
But I was seeing videos from people, that they were taping this, and the U.S. I guess customs, whatever, they were bringing every single day hundreds and hundreds of people to churches, and they were going to Arizona. They were going to Texas, and California is probably so full of those people anyway.
Yeah.
And the churches, they were taking them, and the government, I guess, giving money, but there was a lot of people giving them food and clothes and money, and that's fine. I understand you want to help, but the whole thing, you're not helping. You actually screwing the country little by little, because the more you give, these people are going to be like, hey, free stuff here. Hey, you know what, sister, call the cousin, call the uncle. Come on, come over here. Everything's free. You know, so the more easy you make it for these people, and it's not only that. What about the women getting raped or the kids maybe, abused, coming here, and these people don't think, they're like, oh, yeah, let the little kids. No, you're making it worse for everybody, man.
No, I mean, no.
I don't know, man.
No, they are making it worse because when you tell people if you tell people, hey, you get over here, you get a bunch of free stuff. Well, you're encouraging the wrong people to come over here. The people the people who want to come over here are people who want to work their asses off. Stay on top of their kids, make sure their kids do good in school, become good citizens themselves. Those are the people you want coming over. But if you're encouraging people to come over here, telling them, hey, you're going to get a bunch of free shit when you get here, you don't want those people. Again, you're encouraging a whole bunch of lazy people to come over here. We don't need any more lazy people. We got lazy people in this country right now. We don't need it. I mean, they're a drag on the economy. We don't need to add that number and make it any worse. We don't need to do that.
I had a friend actually that we don't talk anymore. Last year, he when I used to be in Facebook, I don't go to Facebook anymore. Anyway. So he was putting all crap, about Trump and whatever. And, I used to get pissed off, but never said anything, I'm like, I'm minding my own business. But then he started putting stuff saying, oh, if you support Trump, you're racist. And then he was putting, names that I don't want to say in your show. He was just cursing out the people who vote for him.
Right.
And then right there he got me mad because I'm thinking, okay, one thing is talking bad about the president, but now you're talking about me too, So
right.
So I respond back to him in a good way, and I know him for like, I don't know, 20 years, maybe 25, whatever, a long time. And let me tell you, this guy is one of those that you can show him proof, you can right in front of him, and he don't want to see it. So he starts saying, oh, you're racist, me. That he knows I'm not, but anyway, I don't care. Like I said, I really don't care if they call me racist.
Right.
Because he's like, oh, you from Venezuela, and you see all these people suffering. Why, if they would come here, you don't want them? And I said, no, I didn't say that. I said, it has to be little by little. You cannot have everybody come in one shot. We cannot take it because I told him like this. It's like a boat. Let's say you in a little boat, right? And the boat can only take 10 people. And you already got 20 people in the boat, right? And you got 10 more in the water. But if you take those 10 in the water, the boat is gonna flip.
And then everybody dies. Yeah, then everybody dies.
Right. So isn't it better at least help the 20 people in the boat? I mean, I know
Right.
it sucks. It sucks to say it like that, but you have to. You have
Well,
to.
no, you have to be
You have to put a
realistic.
limit.
Yeah, you have to be realistic. I mean, you can't. Again, we can only take in so many people, and for some reason, well, we know the reasons. I mean, Democrats figure
Of course.
when they get here, they're going to vote Democrat, and they're running out of voters because the American people themselves are walking away from them, and so and hell, even black people are walking away from them, saying, we're not going to just vote for you anymore, and so they have to make up the difference. They have to get new voters in here that they can convince to vote for them. And they're the
Yeah.
ones they're the ones offering them free shit. So if they get over here, yeah, they're going to vote for him. In fact, there was a story I saw.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let me go find it because there's a story about that was on the. Let's see if I can find it here. Let's see. Boom. Where was it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, you like this story. Thousands on voter rolls found ineligible. Lawmaker aims to block non-citizens. And it goes on to say a top Pennsylvania lawmaker called on the state of Pennsylvania, state Wednesday to immediately expunge the names of 11,198 non-citizens who've been state confirmed or registered to vote, despite not being eligible. State Representative Darrell Metcalfe, a Republican and former chairman of a House government oversight panel, said, said
Hey,
the
Carl, is that from Texas? Because I read
no
something about 90-something thousand registered
yeah,
illegals.
yeah, that story I haven't confirmed because I'm not real sure if they were kind of conflating some numbers there, so I'm not real sure how accurate that was.
Oh,
But
okay.
this number is accurate. This is in Pennsylvania, and this guy said, "Hey, the state confirmed there's 11,000 and change people on the voter who on the voter rolls who are not U.S. citizens." And so he was saying, he told now, right now,
I'm sorry. I know it's not funny, but it is funny in a way. Go
yeah,
ahead. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
yeah. So anyway, so that state has a Democratic governor. So then anyway, this guy was saying, he said the administration of Governor Tom Wolf, a Democrat, belatedly acknowledged the large number of non-citizens in communications over the past 2 months. So in other words, the Democrat governor knows these people are voting. But yet, that's the problem when you elect a Democrat governor because even though they're voting in like potentially a federal election, the states control the votes. The states control the enforcement of election laws and stuff like that. It's primarily a state issue. So if you have a Democrat governor and like say a Democrat Secretary of State and a Democrat Attorney General, they're not going to go after anybody who are non-citizens who are on the voting rolls. They want them on them.
Oh,
So
of course.
they don't enforce the law. And so anyway, so they go on to say here, the governor finally belatedly acknowledged the large number of non-citizens in communication over the past 2 months. And this Republican says, I believe that we need to take action and have those people removed immediately from the rolls, Mr. Metcalf told the Washington Times. They were never eligible to vote. Just days earlier, and here we go, this talks about Texas. Just days earlier, officials in Texas announced they had found, oh, yeah, you're right. Just days earlier, officials in Texas announced they had found nearly 100,000 non-citizens on the state's voter rolls. The numbers, while not evidence of a massive voter fraud, well, shit, 100,000 votes. I mean, I think Trump won Wisconsin by only like 57,000 votes, or Michigan by like 57,000 votes. So you have 100,000 people voting illegally. That'll change the state, and that'll give all the electoral votes to the other side. So that's a big number, 100,000. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Cruz barely won the Senate seat. I mean, so anyway, so just days earlier, officials in Texas announced they had found nearly 100,000 non-citizens on the state's voter rolls. The numbers, while not evidence of massive voter fraud that President Trump that President Trump said marred the popular vote in the 2016 election, are nonetheless higher than the almost zero levels of voting mischief that the president's critics have suggested. Yeah, every time the president says, "Oh, there's no voter fraud," it's in your imagination. There are no non-citizens voting. There are no ex-felons voting. It's just you're just making that up. Well, now it turns out that they're not making it up. It turns out this has been going on for a while, and so some of those Trump opponents, some of those who are Trump opponents, don't believe the latest numbers, particularly in Texas, where Hispanic activists sued to stop a potential purge of non-citizen names that the state identified. Well, well, they're non-citizens. Why are they stopping them from being on the voter rolls? And so these
It,
people, this Hispanic whatever group, activist group, said it's clear that the right-wing elements in Texas government are trying to are trying to rig the system to keep power and disenfranchise 95,000 American citizens, said Domingo. Let me get his name here. Domingo Garcia, national president of the League of United Latin American Citizens. There is no voter fraud in Texas, he says. It's a lie, repeated time and again to suppress minority voters, and we're going to fight hard against it. Meanwhile, the Texas Secretary of State, David Whitley, used state driver's license records, which includes immigration status, and compared those with the voter rolls. He found that about 95,000 people whom the state says weren't citizens were among the more than 16 million registered voters. Of those, about 58,000 had voted at some point since 1996. State officials followed a similar process in Pennsylvania. After admitting that a glitch in the state motor vehicle bureau computers allowed non-citizens to register to vote easily. They too matched driver's
it,
license records with voter rolls and came up with nearly 11,200 names. That's in Pennsylvania. The state did not release the names to Mr. Metcalf or to Representative Garth Everett, a Republican chairman of the House State Government Committee, so they weren't able to figure out how many had cast ballots. Well, give them the damn names. Here we go. And then they say here, contacted by the Washington Times, the Pennsylvania Department of State did not provide a comment on its numbers. Well, why not? Why not comment on it? I mean, this is serious shit. Voter integrity advocates said the findings undermine arguments that there was no problem, demonstrating much less discussing non-citizen voting activity is the worst form of heresy one can commit for left-wing groups, said Logan Churchill, Director of Communications and Research at the Public Interest Legal Foundation, which is involved in lawsuits in Pennsylvania and Texas to try to pry loose voter data. Yeah, this is freedom of information stuff. He and other advocates said states need to act. It's the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's a lot more. It's the tip of the iceberg. Tom Fitton, he's director of
well,
that Judicial Watch. Yeah, he goes, this shows the urgent need for citizenship verification for voting. The Department of Justice should follow with a national investigation. And it goes on. No state requires proof of citizenship to register to vote, which is crazy. A U.S. District Court judge last year struck down a law championed by then Kansas Secretary of State to require citizenship documentation. Kansas took the ruling to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. So it's still up there. Texas, however, will take some verification. Let's punch it up here.
well, if you notice, when it was already these midterms, okay, first of all, I think Donald Trump won the popular vote. That's my opinion. And the other thing, the midterms, like Florida, what was it, Arizona, all those states, they were pretty close. I'm sorry, man. I think it's fraud. I think it was fraud, big fraud there. And that's the only thing I'm afraid. Not because I know Trump people, they're going to keep voting for him, whoever votes for him.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'm concerned is the cheating, because the Democrats are really good at cheating. And then the Republicans, they don't have no cojones, no balls. They don't do anything about it.
Right. No.
So
we just sit back and take it. We're like, oh yeah, we just want to be nice. It's like, screw being nice. I go, people are committing fraud. People are cheating. People are lying. People are committing crimes. And these Democrats who are in charge of these states. I mean, that's why it was so important that we had a Republican win in Georgia and we had a Republican win in Florida. Those are two big states for the 2020 election. And you had the Democrats running the state and not pursuing voter fraud. It could be a huge problem, and it could have been a big problem in Florida, and that's a big swing state.
But Carl, the thing that Florida, right? He almost lost, and yes, I'm not saying I'm pretty sure it was fraud, but do you know that Miami is like 90% Spanish? Yeah, and that's Miami. That's only Miami, okay? Right. And most of the time, who was it? Oh, the Red Elephant. He said that usually 70% of Spanish people goes for Democrat, and then that's a big thing. Florida is becoming, it's pretty close to become blue. And Texas, if we lose Texas and Florida, I think pretty much.
Yeah,
that's different. And that's where they taking the Spanish people. It's Arizona, Texas. Well, California is already gone. New York, forget it. It's blue too.
Right.
So that's the whole thing, man. I'm not trying to sound negative, but it's like that. That's why I don't see these Republicans. I'm telling you, I bet you some of them they're sold out. You know, I guess they don't care. They getting paid or something, man.
Well, no. Well. What is it? You got to remember something. A lot of Republicans are paid off by big corporations. Big corporations want a larger labor pool because when there's okay, like here's the example. You know, I go to apply for a job and they're offering $12 an hour, and I say, hey, you know, I'll do this job, but I want like $14 an hour. And but there's 100 people in the room outside, and the guy goes, "Hey man, I got 100 people out there. They'll take 12. In fact, I can probably find about 20. Will take 10. So take 12 or leave it." Now, same thing. Okay, I go and look for a job, and they're offering $12 an hour. And I say, "Hey, I want 14." So the employer looks out in the room. There's only like 2 or 3 guys out there. Well, he's probably gonna have to pay me that higher wage because if I'm qualified and the other guys aren't. But if you add more to the labor pool, supply and demand, then you can't really negotiate for a higher wage, and in fact you probably have to accept lower wages. And big corporations want that. They don't want to pay people a fair wage. Amazon,
Yeah.
Amazon had to get shamed into it. Like last year, about 7-8 months ago, to increase how much they were paying. Because they were paying just really shit money. And but that's why they want large numbers of people in here because more people competing for the same job. It drives the price of the wages, price of the job down, and that's what they want. And so you have Republicans who get paid shitloads of money from these big companies, and to get reelected, and so they know their bread is buttered, and they have to go along with it, and they do, they do just that. I'm sure Paul Ryan's working at some big company right now where he's getting paid a
Oh man,
shitload.
that's another guy, man. That's another guy. I can't stand him. I thought he was okay. Okay, not good. Okay, and then when he, didn't help Trump with the wall,
Right.
I got pissed off. That's it. I lost him. I'm like, you know what? He's one of those sold out, dumbasses. I'm sorry, but he's a dumbass.
Right.
Oh man, it just gets to my nerves. But no, you made a good point. I understand. The whole. I already know they're corrupt. The whole government's corrupt. But these people, man, they should be able to see. I mean, don't they see the government? First of all, people working there for like 40 years, like this lady Pelosi, whatever. No. You know what? 8 years, the most. 8 years. Get out of there. Put somebody else because these people they don't care anymore.
Right.
They just don't care. It's just about power and money.
Yeah.
That's all they care. And then these people, they're like, oh, yeah, they're good. No. Ow. You know what? 8 years the most, you out of here,
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, no, the problem is, these people, they hold on too long and they stick around too long and, and they get corrupted. They might have good intentions when they first get there, but after a few years and they realize how much money they have to constantly raise to win re-election, they have to go to the big donors, and the big donors say, "Yeah, I'll give you a bunch of money." Yeah, and they won't come out and directly say to them, but then they'll have their PACs, raising a bunch of money to put commercial time and media time for them, in
right.
press releases, and if they want that money, they're going to have to follow along with what they say. So then, after the campaign's over, these PACs, the people who run these PACs are not prohibited from talking to the candidate, talking to the senator. Especially if they can find some idiot who lives in the state and just walk in the office and say, hey, I live in the state. Oh, by the way, I work for so and so, and yeah, we'd like you to stress this. Like, we want you to fight against this wall. We want you to not allow Trump to get his wall, and we want you to let we're in favor of immigrants coming in here because we love people and we're just a bunch of lovey-dovey people persons. And so okay, I guess I'll vote that way. And that's what happened. That's what happens in D.C. all the time.
Hey, there you are, bigger.
Yeah, there I am. I figured I'd go on bigger. Bigger is better. Bigger is better.
There you go. Hey, one thing that they let me see your opinion on this. I heard that sometimes some of these people they run for whatever president or government, whatever it is, right? And they know that sometimes they're not going to win, but
right.
They do it because they raise a lot of money, and supposedly some of that money goes to their pocket. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about that?
What? Oh, in other words, when they raise a lot of money, they can use it for the next campaign, or they can use it for like they can turn it over to like to the Democratic Party for like the senatorial campaigns. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm, well, yeah, I mean, meaning yes, they could go money there, but supposedly they put money in their pocket.
Oh well, no, they can't do that. I mean, that's illegal. I mean, you can't. They can't
Yeah,
do.
but Carl, yeah, I know it's illegal, but come on, you think that these people they care? Pretty sure they're always going to look a way to do it. Hey, but
Yeah. But if they get caught doing that, they go to prison. I mean, that's pretty easy to catch, though, Lalo. I mean, that's
is it?
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, because you have the campaign contribution have to go into a separate account, campaign account, and you have to be able to account for the expenses. Now, there are people that, yeah, there are some people that cheat. They'll say, okay, I got to buy a car for the campaign for campaigning, and then of course they use a car. Their wife drives a car, and nobody's looking that hard at them. Or they'll use campaign funds. Oh, I have to buy some suits to go on the campaign trail, and and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, they're wearing the suits to dinner and stuff. Just going to take their family out. Or I need to travel to this state or that state to meet with other senators, or I have to travel to like the northern part of the state to meet with constituents, and they sidetrack it a lot. But every once in a while those people get caught, and then you see them in the news. They're heading off to prison, or or they have to
Hey,
resign or something. But yeah, there are
hey,
ways to cheat though. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Carl, if you want to hang up, somebody else can call, man. I mean, since
No, no,
nobody was here.
the only other person calling was a unknown caller, and that was a troll. So yeah, I mean, it's like
Oh, let me know if somebody calls. I'll hang up. I don't care. I
Oh
mean,
well, yeah, no, I mean, it's
I
like no, like I said, there were like two or three trolls that were calling in while you were on the phone, but they were using blocked numbers, so I don't, I'm not going to take those calls anyway. I mean, they don't get on air because I just turn them off before they before they get on air.
oh, but you don't know if they're trolls. I mean,
Well,
right? I
if
mean,
you're
they could
calling
be.
if you're calling in on a if you're calling in on a blocked number, that's that's you're going to be a troll. I mean, if you're calling into my show to support what I'm doing and to add to the debate, then you don't need to block your number because you're like
I got you. All
you're
right.
like on our side, or even if you're not on our side, but you want to have an honest debate where you're not being a dick. Well, you're not gonna have to block your number because you're gonna be I mean, this is a conservative site. We like good debate. Everybody knows that about conservatives. I mean, sorry, they just know that about us. Like I was watching Steven Crowder. He was out there at that one college campus. About he said build the
Oh
wall.
yeah. I like that. I like that guy. I like that
Yeah,
too.
and he was out there. He had the thing, a little booth set up, build a wall, change my mind, and he had a bunch of
Yes, I
protesters.
saw that. I saw that one. I saw
Yeah, and then he goes over and he goes, "Okay, hey, I'm here for dialogue and debate. Oh, we don't want to talk to you." It's like, well, you're sitting here with a sign protesting me, so I mean, the whole point of this is dialogue. So just tell me where I'm wrong. I go, we're not. I'm not going to gotcha moment or anything. I'm not going to, try to, put words in your mouth. Just, go ahead. Just give me your point of view. That's what
Hey,
we.
it, that one thing I think is funny is that when it comes to stuff like that, or when they complain about Trump and they're like he's racist. Okay, why he's racist? He's racist, but why? He's racist. It's like they never have one reason, one thing. It's like
Right.
to me I call them zombies. I mean, it's like they
Yeah.
just keep going straight.
Right. Right. Well, no, no,
But
they never have. No, you ask them for, give me an example. Oh, the country's doing bad. Okay, give us an example. They can't. I mean, the point is the country's doing really good right now, and they don't want to give credit to this guy, but we were like we were heading off a cliff. The last year, 2016, the last year of President Obama, GDP annual growth was only at 1.5%. I mean, it had gone down from the year before, from 2.2 to 1.5. I mean,
hey, Carl, but you're wrong. But you're wrong.
tell me.
You're wrong. We're not doing good because of Trump. It's because of Obama. That's what they keep
Well,
saying.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
because
no,
of
no,
Obama.
no. Unless the stock market crashes, then it's Trump's fault.
Oh,
The economy is good. When the economy's doing good, it was Obama. When the stock market crashes, oh, Trump's policy is making the stock market crash. Oh no, it's like,
you,
oh, jeez.
you want to hear something funny that my mom told me the other day when we were having lunch? She said, because now they talk a lot about Trump with me. So anyway, she was saying that if he wins, that she hopes that he wins 4 more years, right? Another term. So if he's here 8 years, right?
Hmm.
If if the country keeps doing good after 8 years, they're still gonna say it was Obama.
Oh yeah,
and then
for sure.
and then and then when the other president comes, of course we don't know who it is, but if it does good, it's because of the president, not Trump, because of him. If he does bad, it was because of Trump. This
Right.
guy is like my mom said. This guy is gonna get blamed for everything, no matter what, and it doesn't matter whatever good things he does. It's always gonna look bad for these people. So anyway,
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to say that.
No, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, it's like he cannot win for losing. He cannot win for losing. So yeah, whatever he does is going to be bad. And I mean, and even when the economy's doing good, he won't get credit for it. If the economy goes bad, yeah, then they'll get all the blame for it. And that's a real shame. It's just a real shame how they're setting him up like that. But oh well. So hey man, well
Yeah.
hey, thanks for calling in, and
Yep.
really totally appreciate it. So
No, no,
good
Carlo.
good
Thank
good.
you for telling my call, and thanks for the info, man. You always got the info. All right, man. I'll let you go, and I'll talk to you next time.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All
Later.
right. Bye bye. All right, that was a great Lalo 69. On the live phone call, and our phone number is 775-273-8970. No block calls, please. And if you want to do a live video call, send me an email to ca2jogger@gmail.com, and we'll hook you up with a live video call. I'll send you a link, and you're good to go. So, just let us know what you want to do, and we're more than happy to accommodate you. But again, no block phone calls. We don't take any block phone calls. So, let's see. We were talking about this voter fraud thing, and there was actually another story I want to cover here. Yeah, this one's a good one here. Let me get this keyed up for you guys. All right, let me pull this down here. And we'll get something up here where we can actually have the phone number. There it is. Let's see. Boom. All right, and let's cut over to this. There we are. And there I am. All right, so Venezuelans increase pressure on defiant Maduro. Trump calls Guido. Guido. It's not Guido. I'm sorry, man. Totally butchering this guy named Gallardo. I don't know. It's like named after a town down there that he was from, or like kind of like the region. So Trump calls Guaido as Russian supports incumbent leader. And again, the Washington Times. Big shout out to the Washington Times and subscribers to that. I suggest you do. It's you get their e-newspaper every morning, nice and early, and it's really great publication. And they put it into a digital format, so you can bring it into YouTube videos like I'm doing right here, and they even allow you to expand the font so when you bring it into a video, you can expand the font. That's a little top stuff across the top there. So I mean, you don't need to expand the font for yourself. You're doing it. They do it so you can bring it into your videos and stuff. It gives them advertising, and of course, fine with me. I mean, it's a good newspaper. But I just think it's really nice how they set it up so that for YouTube creators, you can actually use it and navigate it and put it up on the screen, and you can increase the font size and bounce around really easily while you're in the middle of a YouTube production, whether you're in the middle of a live stream. So it's one of the few newspapers that actually does that. Even the Wall Street Journal doesn't do that. I don't know why, but the Washington Times put a few bucks into this, and just a real big thank you to the Washington Times. But anyway, so so here we go. A fresh wave of protests swept Venezuela Wednesday as U.S.-backed opposition leader Juan Guaido ramped up a pressure campaign to oust embattled President Nicolas Maduro, who remained defiant in the face of rising economic pressure. Face down and pressure and international calls for a new election. The escalating standoff in Caracas has already claimed dozens of lives and could exacerbate tensions between the U.S. and Russia. Well, I don't know why Trump doesn't call his friend Vladimir Putin and say, Vladimir, tell me what you want me to do. Do you want me to back Maduro? And Putin goes, yes, Trump, back Maduro. And Trump goes, okay, I'm a robot. Well, Trump ain't backing Maduro, and Russia is. So I guess, again, another example of Trump and Putin not getting along on an issue. Like there's only been like 10 of those. But no, they won't cover that story. I agree with the last caller, Lalo. It's like, at some point, just stop it already. Okay, I know you don't like the guy. Okay, get the F over it. Please. Just get over it. I mean, if he's doing something good, say, hey, that's pretty good. If he's doing something bad, fine, call him on it. But Jesus Christ, don't not give him credit for anything that's going good. Don't just keep bashing him over the head over stupid, silly stuff and repeating the same stupid talking points every other night. And then on a Friday night, Brian Williams will come on and say, "Oh, this," he'll have his panel. Is this the smoking gun? Is this the thing that takes him down? And his panel's like, "Yes, I think this is the thing that takes him down. This is it. This is the big thing." And we're all like, "Oh no, Trump's going down." And then I swear to God, by next week, the story goes nowhere. And of course, Brian Williams never comes back like on Wednesday and says, "Oh, remember that story from Friday we were telling you about? It was a big smoking gun." Well, it turned out to be nothing. No, they just start some new story, and then that next Friday it'll be the same thing. He'll ask his panel, "Is this the smoking gun?" It'll be another story. Like, oh, another group of panelists, different people, of course, but same idiots, and it'll say, "Oh yeah, this is it. This is the big story, and this is going to take him down." And then again, come Wednesday of the following week, the story fizzles, and nobody says, "Oh, by the way, remember that story we covered last Friday?" Yeah, well, like the one we did the Friday before. Well, today's Wednesday, and it turned out the story was nothing. No, of course they never do that. They never come back and tell you, "Hey, man, the story, was nothing." So, but anyway, so back to this Venezuela story. Sorry, I didn't even go off on a tangent like that, but yeah, it gets aggravating. For those of us who support the president, and especially those of us who support the president and love our country, and when the country's doing good, we want to keep doing good. We don't want to kick somebody out of office when the country's doing really good because the country's going to go to shit again. I already lived through that depression. I don't want to live through it again. Thank you. Okay, and all you rich assholes out there who didn't have to live through it or lived around it, if you will, and didn't notice what was happening because it didn't affect you. Screw you. Okay, screw you. I saw a lot of people becoming homeless. I saw a lot of people losing their houses. I saw a lot of people losing their jobs. I saw a lot of people getting divorced. I saw all that during that recession. It wasn't any fun. Okay? And if you're willing to let people go through that and suffer again, then you hate people. Okay? Stop it. All right. So anyway, the escalating standoff in Caracas has already claimed dozens of lives and could exacerbate tensions between the U.S. and Russia, which has emerged as one of the socialist president's strongest supporters. Russia, that is. President Trump on Wednesday called to congratulate Mr. Guaido, the head of the opposition-controlled National Assembly, and now recognized by the U.S. and a host of other Western Hemisphere countries as the interim president. Here we go. Under Venezuela's constitution, even though his future is uncertain as Maduro regime launches investigations into his anti-government activities. Oh, God. Yeah, they're just taking this playbook from the Democrats up here. It's like, okay, well, this guy is, popular. This guy is going to probably help the country. So right away, the government's going to do some investigation to his anti-government thing. Like next thing they're going to, why don't they just, say he's colluding with Trump? They can't say he's colluding with Putin because Maduro is with Putin. So I guess they can't use the Putin line on this guy. So I guess, say he's colluding with Trump or, I don't know, somebody else, Justin Trudeau. Because Trudeau's back. Trudeau, the wimp, is actually backing this guy too. Go figure. But anyway, I guess a broken clock is right twice a day. There we go. Justin Trudeau, the broken clock. He's right twice a day. Anyway, let's see. Okay, anyway, launches investigations into his anti-government activities and has barred him from leaving the country. Well, obviously they don't want him leaving the country. They don't want him going out and doing big speeches in like New York and, Texas, California, or in Europe and France trying to gather support. So now they're going to hold him hostage in his own country. Amazing. You'd think actually what they would do is like let him leave the country and then bar him from coming back in. But, we're not dealing with the most brilliant people in the world. There you go. Although he has kept a relatively low profile over the past week, Mr. Guaido coordinated a national walkout Wednesday to protest the Maduro government. The demonstrations were smaller than initially. The demonstrations were smaller than initially expected, but well, these people are hungry. I mean, they probably don't want want to walk down the street. But anyway, but underscored the deep resentment that has bubbled to the surface across the country after 6 years of economic collapse, food shortages, and a region-wide refugee crisis under Mr. Maduro. Venezuela is set on change, Mr. Guerrero said. While the Venezuelan military is yet to show signs of deserting Mr. Maduro, no, because a lot of those guys, well, they're getting paid, obviously. Deserting Mr. Maduro, Venezuelan watchers say the current round of protests is more intense. Let's see if this will work. Nope. Yeah, there we go. Is more intense than those put down by the regime in 2014 and 2015. This uprising, they say, has spread beyond well-to-do urban centers and is much more systemic in nature. This time around, it's entirely different. The protests have migrated to the slums. Francisco Toro, editor-in-chief of the Caracas Chronicles, told reporters on a conference call. Nearly 40 people have been killed so far this month in those demonstrations. And that's a really disgusting thing. That's actually really disgusting. And nobody's covering that. There you go. Cheers, cheers, Lilo. Yeah, make America great. Americans in America first. Damn right. Totally believe that. But let's see here. Get back to the story real quick. Hey, thanks, Lilo, for the support, man. Totally cool. Totally cool. But let's see. Nearly 40 people have been killed so far this month in demonstrations. And let's see if this works. Nope. Let me come over here. In demonstrations. Oh, it did work. And nearly 1,000 people have been arrested. Well, that's not good. Amid that chaos, Mr. Trump gave a major boost to the young opposition leader during a brief phone conversation. On Monday, administration officials issued major sanctions against Venezuelan assets in the state-owned company known as PDVSA, whatever that means. In a statement announcing the call, the White House said Mr. Guerrero thanked President Trump for the United States' commitment to freedom. I'm surprised. I'm surprised I didn't hear that on the news. How this guy is praising Trump. You can't have that going around, President Trump's United States commitment to freedom and prosperity in Venezuela and the region, and noted the importance of the large protests against Venezuela against former dictator Maduro set to occur today and Saturday. They agreed, this is Trump and this guy Guaido, they agreed to maintain regular communication to support Venezuela's path back to stability, to rebuild a bilateral relationship between the United States and Venezuela, the White House said. Mr. Maduro has given no indication that he will step down anytime soon. The Venezuelan military, which regional analysts say holds the key to the future of the country, has come down firmly on the incumbent president's side, and he fired back at the U.S. on Wednesday with an angry address at his palace in Caracas, interview with friendly Russian state media. Well, this is where the CIA comes in handy. I mean, you start paying some of these guys off. These guys are looking for a payoff. They're obviously getting paid off by probably the Russians and the Chinese. Well, you know what? We could do better than that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, pay these guys off, promise them whatever. Look, none of these guys want to go live in Russia or China, okay? But I'm sure a few of them wouldn't mind, having some nice places like, on the beach somewhere in the United States or up in the mountains or whatever. So, I mean, offer them whatever you got to offer them. Get the military to be on the right side. Because right now, you can tell they're holding out for something. They know the future isn't this guy. They know that. And they know when this whole thing ends, a lot of these guys are going to be on the chopping block. That's what they're afraid of. So there's got to be some assurances made to them that, look, it's not going to be Cuba. We're not going to go in and kill all the military off and all the leaders who back Maduro. You got to make some kind of a deal with these people. And let them know, hey, man, you make the right, they'll say, look, you make the right move now. We don't give a shit what you did, yesterday, the day before, last month, whatever. Make the right move now. We got your back. And guess what? There's going to be a whole bunch of good things happening to this country. These guys in the military, not so much the leadership, but the regular guys, like, say, the officer corps below, like field, maybe, like captains, below field grade, field level officers, that kind of thing. And I think they call them field grade, or I can't remember what it's called. But, the guys who are below major, those guys, they got families out there that are suffering, that are living, in poverty and stuff. Maybe start working on some of those guys. I don't know, some guys you can move up the ranks. Some young guys. I mean, that's okay. It's okay to be young. I mean, a lot of young people did a lot of great things in this world. It's okay to do that. So that's my opinion. And as you know, this show is called Carl's Opinion. You can see that right above my head. It says Carl's Opinion. That's it. So this is Carl's Opinion. Anyway, let me have a cigarette real quick. And let's see here. Yep. Whoa, sorry, that was me. I hate the. Oh, there we go. Okay. Up. Up. Okay, that's me. That was me doing the thing with the newspaper. Sorry, guys. But yeah, you can't help that sometimes. Yep, that's just me scrolling through the newspaper. All right, let's see if we can find another story real quick here. Boom. Politics. Let's see what's going on in politics. Slams on intelligence officials. E-Verify. See. The Nation. Let's see what's going on in the Nation. Workspaces geared towards women on the rise in the Me Too era. Well, that's interesting. We just did a story. We covered it. Washington Times did a story, and I covered it on one of my videos talking about how workplaces have to make allowances for people with dementia. Which a crazy story. And so I guess this story now: workplaces geared towards women on the rise in the Me Too era. I'm sorry. I have to read this story. I got to see what we're doing to assist women who generally don't need much assistance. But let's see what we're doing to assist women. I mean, all the women I know are very independent and they don't really ask for shit. So let's see what we're doing here because this is gonna crack me up. I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I hang with a lot of professional people, so I guess the women I know, they're all professional people, and I mean, they don't need any help from anybody. Okay, so okay again. Workspaces geared towards women on the rise in the Me Too era. Entering the year-old workspaces. What does it say? Entering the year-old workspace, Modern Well feels. I guess is the name of the company. Modern Well. I don't know. Feels like coming into a comfortable spa. Clean linens give way to cozy touches like footstools covered with like fake fur, and a roaring fire surrounded by comfortable armchairs. Women type away on laptops at tables scattered throughout. There is not a man in sight. What the shit? Oh, God. There is not a man in sight. Modern Well is one of the growing number of women. Hold on. This story is making me cry. I'm getting really sad by it. Uh, Modern Well is one of the growing number of women only and women only. Oh, okay. So if I'm a man and I apply for a job there, guess what? I got myself a nice little. What title is that? Oh God, I can't remember the discrimination. I mean, it's not 42 USC 1983. That's against like a government actor, but against private discrimination for employment. Oh Jesus. I can't remember the damn title number of the U.S. Code, but anyway, most states have these statutes as well. Back when I did a civil rights case years and years and years ago, we did it under a state statute instead of the federal statute. I like the state statute better, and it made a lot more sense. But anyway, that was against a private actor as well. All right, Modern Well is one of the growing number of women-only and women-focused workspaces around the country. While many predate the Me Too movement, their growth has been interlinked with it as it put combating workplace harassment on the national agenda. They're also tapping into a desire among many women to build a community and supportive environment at work that differ from a stereotypical corporate workplace culture. The spaces provide more than just desks and coffee machines. They offer programs such as high-profile speakers and yoga classes and a chance to oh my God. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Where did it go to? And a chance to. Let's see. Go down. No. Okay. Let's see. Okay. The space provides more than just desks and a coffee machine. They offer programs such as high-profile speakers and yoga classes, and a chance to build a social and business network with like-minded women. I don't see how this is. I mean, if you're a guy, hey, if there's a man out there and you're like in this area, go apply for a job here and get turned down and then file suit. And make sure you're qualified for the job because if they turn you down and you win on the discrimination, you can get back pay from the date they turned your application down. If there was a job opening like that day and you applied for it and they turned you down based on your gender, you discriminated based on gender because those laws when they're not written gender specific. They say you can't discriminate based on gender. They don't say you can't discriminate against women. So anyway, here we go. Yoga, blah blah blah. Okay, it's like we work minus the beer on tap and tech bro atmosphere. Yeah, I worked in a lot of offices. I don't remember ever seeing beer on tap. Okay. I think women especially are craving safe spaces where they can go and be inspired and do really important work without interruption. Like, oh yeah, the manager's coming on and, bothering them all day long. That's a big problem. Okay, because they can't work without some guy, crawling up their ass and hitting on them. All right. So here we go. Without interruption, without being reminded of all that too. There's literally no risk that somebody's going to sexually harass me here," said Renee. Yeah, wait till the lesbian takes over and she gets horny. There's literally no risk that somebody's going to sexually harass me here. And Renee Powers, a Modern Well member who founded the business Feminist Book Club in the space. The biggest player is The Wing, which opened in 2016 in New York and has been expanding rapidly across the country. In San Francisco, location opened in October with a nod to the Me Too movement, naming a conference room after Christine Blasey Ford. Oh, Jesus. God. Oh. Oh, yeah, Christine Blasey Ford. Okay. Yes, she was so credible. Yes. I mean, you know, there's all kinds of psychological reasons why this woman, even if she believed it, would believe that this guy did something to her. It was a famous person. Okay, it was like a memory of something, whatever, and then she just kind of extrapolated. It's like I remember I research this all the time. Trust me, I don't remember it, but I mean, it's all this like memories and hypnosis therapy and how dangerous that is, and because they want to go into how the therapist got the information out, and it was through hypnotherapy. That's why they were hiding it. And she pretended like she didn't know anything about it, even though she had been published on the subject once before and actually taught classes on it. But yeah, we're gonna name it after her. Okay. Okay. Who testified before Congress that here we go. That Supreme Court nominee Brent Kavanaugh had sexually assaulted her in high school with no corroborating witnesses. And the witness, she said, "Oh, here, ask them; they'll tell you, because I'm crazy and I know everybody believes everything I say." That's how crazy people think. She gave those names up, thinking like, yes, they will corroborate me, because she's like Looney Tune. Okay, Looney Tune people think everybody around them agrees with them. Okay, Looney Tune people think everybody around them is like, oh yeah, yeah, you're right, that was her, that's horrible. So they went and asked the people that she named. These are my friends, they'll back me up, and they said, no, man, that didn't happen. She named like four people, and all four said, no, that didn't happen. Okay, it never happened. We don't know what she's talking about. No, no, and no, and then they still give this woman kudos, saying that she was believable. She wasn't. Membership, this is back to that stupid group. Membership to use one location costs $2,350 annually, and the company now has more than 6,000 members, spokesman Zara Rahim said. Most of the spaces allow men, but some do not. Oh, I swear to God. The Wing was sued by, well, great, okay. I got to see how this turned out, because if he got sued and he lost, I want to see why, okay? I don't do employment law, but I'm curious on this one. Most of the spaces allowed men, but something that the Wing was sued by a Washington, D.C. man who alleged discrimination. Its board soon after approved a membership policy providing that an applicant's gender identity would not be considered. Oh, well, I guess the suit was successful. They probably settled and whatever. Well, okay, let's see. Its board soon after approved a membership policy providing that an applicant's gender identity would not be considered in development first reported by Insider. A development first reported by Insider. All right. Ms. Ryan said the policy was said the policy was being developed before the lawsuit was unrelated to it. Oh yeah, okay. Before this guy sued us, we were going to do this. and then we never got around to it. And then we got sued, and like, oh, lo and behold, it was on the shelf. And damn, who left that on the shelf? We were supposed to implicate this. We were supposed to not implicate. Supposed to initiate this policy a long time ago. And damn, must have been Jennifer. Jennifer left it on the shelf. No, I didn't do it. Don't throw me under the bus. Yeah, you did it. Anyway, and of course, then after he sues, then they initiate the policy. Let's see. The wing is also under investigation by the New York City Commission on Human Rights for gender. Oh, okay, for gender-based discrimination. The wing said it is working with the commission. Yeah, what do they think was going to happen? So many women jokes you can make on this. It's really sad because I mean, did anybody look at the statutes? Again, I can't remember them. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't do employment law, but I remember them from a long time ago. Yeah, you cannot discriminate in the workplace based on gender. It doesn't say you can't discriminate against women. It doesn't say that. It says you can't discriminate based on gender. You know, you can't say, and then they come out public and say women only can work here. You know, it's not a club. It's got, even you have a hard time discriminating now, even in private clubs. It's a workspace. It's an employment. That's why we have these employment statutes. You say, well, we're a private company. No, that's the whole point of these statutes. These statutes are designed to go after private companies. A whole other set of laws for federal government employees and stuff like that. And states have different laws, but this is for. Oh my God. Ugh. Ugh. Another another fest. Yeah, they're working with the commission, which means the commission is telling them what time of day it is, and they're like, "Oh, we're working with them." Yeah, they're trying to avoid paying a whole shitload of fines, and the attorney and they're working with them. Why? Because if the commission actually brings suit, guess who pays for the cost of the litigation? Yeah, these women. That's who. Oh, Jesus. And another fast-growing space is the Riveter. The 5 locations in Seattle and Los Angeles, and plans to has 5 locations in Seattle and Los Angeles, and plans to open in Austin, Texas, in March. Excuse me. Oh, I'm getting tired. Probably getting really close to end the stream here. In March, on Tuesday, it announced plans to open 5 more locations in cities, including Minneapolis and Atlanta. About 20% of its members are building venture scale startups. The majority are small businesses with just a few employees or people who work on their own, such as lawyers or real estate agents, said founder and CEO Amy Nelson. It ranges from $99 to hundreds of dollars monthly. God, bring this up. Oh, Jesus. God. Yeah, identify as a taco. Yeah, no shit. It's like, I don't know what these women were thinking about. I mean, these laws have been in the books for forever. I mean, it's not like somebody wrote them and said, oh, they got somebody who went to law school and like missed that whole year or something. But I mean, these laws have been in the book for years. It's like you can't say if you're a man you don't apply. You can't do that. I mean, you can't. But there's like, oh, we're just in the moment, and oh, we're so happy, and I don't have to worry about being sexually. I mean, what kind of workplace are these people are in? Like they walk around and these men, hey, baby, yeah. I've worked in a lot of offices. It's not like all that, yeah, baby. People are working. You know. Now, if you're a woman and you put on a lot of makeup and you put on red lipstick and you wear a little tight blouse and a little short, tight skirt and wear pumps and stuff, well, you're not wearing that for comfort. I don't put on makeup when I go to work. Why do women put on makeup when they go to work? Why? To look cute, to look attractive. Why? Why do they want to look? Why does a woman want to look attractive when she's at work? What is she trying to do? She's trying to manipulate the situation. So maybe if she doesn't work so good, or work product isn't so good, her looks will make up the difference. Meaning that the guys who are, her boss will go, yeah, well, yeah, she kind of sucks at this job here, but, she looks good. She's not hard on the eyes. And then, God forbid, you're wearing all this hot-looking outfit, pretty much advertising your body. Then some guy walks in and says, hey, you're really cute. Would you like to go out to dinner? Oh, you're sexually harassing me. I can't believe you'd hit on me. It's like, well, Jesus Christ, lady, you're half naked. It's like, put a sign on you that says, here, come and look at me. Come and look at my half-naked body. Can you imagine guys walking around like, wearing this kind of crap. I mean, and then some woman hits on him, like, oh, I can't believe you hit on me. It's like, well, no shit. Yeah, no kidding, man. Getting a little tired here. What time is it? It's almost midnight. We'll end this in a few minutes. But hey, I want to thank Mr. Lilo for being in the chat room, and I want to thank everybody for watching. And to those of you who are going to be watching later, thank you so much. And this has been Carl's Opinion, and this has been Carl. It's about 10 to midnight on the West Coast, so it's probably about 10. Well, not probably. What does that mean? It's probably 10 to 3 on the East Coast. No, it is 10 to 3 on the East Coast. Yeah, I mean, the laws of time didn't just change on this YouTube channel. So, but anyway, thank you, Mr. Lilo, and thank you so much again for calling in. And just want to say goodnight to everybody. And let's get some music here so we can end you here. Let's see, find something good to listen to. Let's see. This looks like a good one. All right. Anyway, guys, have a good one. Take care. Bye bye.
So hold on tight to me. Love like we never grew up, and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens. Stop, take a breath, close your eyes, remember this. Oh, 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 it's beautiful. Love like we never grew up, and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens. Time flies when you get it right. So hold on tight to me. Love like we never grew up, and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens. One blink and it's over. Wake up and we're older tonight. We're kings and queens. You're